show you guys how to make a mantie. So we're out here camping. It's hot out. Got my beach attire on, as you can tell, here in camp. And we're gonna go on a ride here in just a bit to get the horses in shape. So I've been packing feed just for weight for the horses. And I wanna walk you guys through the process on how to make a mantie. Okay, first things first, if you're camping with me, my manties are all just gonna be stored like this in a kit. So when I say go grab manties, this is what they are. Inside here is 2 full manties and 2 full mantie ropes, enough to make a set for 1 horse. So the first thing we're gonna do is just throw them out on the ground and unfold them. When you get done here, you should have a big square canvas on the ground. There's 2 mantie ropes and 2 canvases right on top of the other. So basically we're going to make 1 mantie and then pull that off and make another one right in the same spot. It helps us save space. These are the bags we're manting, so you want to lay these crosswise, kind of right in the middle. If you have a bigger load, the biggest thing is you just want to make sure that you got enough of a tail on whatever corner you're going to start with that come up and be your bottom. And I want this to come at least about 3/4 the way up the bag, because the friction of the canvas wrapping around it is what's going to hold it in place. In this case, it's a small load, so I've got lots of room. So you're going to take the bottom tail of your mantie, whichever corner you're going to start with, doesn't really matter. That's going to be your bottom. Hold it up to the top. Grab one of your sides. Now again, because this is a smaller load, I have lots of extra canvas to get rid of. So in this case, instead of just folding it all the way over, I'm just going to fold it in half once. And then fold it over, just so I don't have so much tail to work with. Same thing on this side. It does not matter which side you do first, right or left. And the top piece here, this is called your rain flap. It just comes down over the top. And again, I have lots of extra, so I'm just going to fold that under. Next, we're going to grab one of these mantie ropes. If you watch my video on how to put up sling ropes and mantie ropes, I think I did one on that. You should have them put up like this, and the loop that you grab to hold on to is also the loop that you want. So you can just take the rest, throw it aside, and you should have your loop in your hand. This first loop goes over the top of the mantie about 1/3 of the way down. All right, the first one's going to be about 1/3 of the way down the bag, and then just slide it over to where your knot's going to basically end up in the center. I'm going to pull this tight, so I want to start with it off to one side. So then when I pull, that comes about to center. Then take the tail of your rope, come underneath, and back up through the hole. That's called a packer's knot. You can pull on the tail here to make the loop a little shorter. I like it about 6 inches or so, and then put a half hitch over the top of it. That locks that into where it can't go anywhere, it won't slide. Next, you're going to take the rest of your tail, and you're basically just going to make a big half hitch over the bag. This one's going to go about 2/3 of the way down. I'll take that back, maybe roughly half. This is a small load. I'm going to basically do 3 hitches over the top of it. If it's a bigger load, you do 4. So you pull that till it comes down to half. You can do the same thing. You can throw a half hitch over the top and slide it all the way down to the bottom. What I always do on my very last one is I always just flip around because it's easier. I'm all about making my life easier. Again, I want my half hitch knots roughly to be down the center of the bag. I don't care that it's pulled this one down low, because you'll see here in a minute I'm going to wrap around and tie into that, and it's going to suck it back to the top. So from here, I just flip the bag over, run my tail here. We can straighten out these if we want. It's not a big deal. Roll it back, and then take this loop, go right through the loop that you made to start with. Now you don't have to feed it all the way through. You can, there's nothing wrong with it. Again, it's just more work. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to cinch her up tight. And from here, if you got a really big load, you want to get nice and tight, just stand up and pull. Let the bag tighten it for you. Now, once again, I'm going to tie my packer's knot. Take the tail of my rope. I'm going to come underneath and up through the hole I just made. So you can put your thumb on that, that'll hold it. Pull that tight. You can pull on this to adjust that down smaller to about the height you want it. Then take it, just put a half hitch over the top. Oops. Half hitch, there you go. That locks that one in place. You can pull your slack back out. What do I do with my tail? We don't want this dragging along the trail, getting caught on things. This is a really small load, which is why I have so much extra tail. So I'm just gonna run it. I'm gonna take a bite of the rope, about yay big, come underneath my last one, my last half hitch, pull that tight, and I'm gonna pull it until my tail is just sticking out the bottom. Then from here, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna come under this one and repeat the process. Just eat up my slack. And on your very last one, just come through and just tie a knot. That'll hold that tail up to where it's not dragging around on things. And the loops at the top, that always tells you which way is up. I got my rain flap on the top, my loop is at the top. I can basket hitch that on a mule, and if it's a really big load and these are really tall, say this was like turned out to be like a 4-foot mantie or something like that, and the tops were really getting off on you, you can take and you can use a little piece of rope to tie these two loops together and hold the tops in if you really need to. You won't see me do that very often, but it is kind of a trick if you got a really unruly set of manties to deal with. All right, I'll repeat the process for you. Same thing with bag number 2, in the same spot. We're gonna go a little faster this time. Flip my tail up. Flip my side in. Flip my other side in. Get hero off the mantie. There's my mantie. Grab my rope, grab the loop. That goes to the side. This comes over the top. I have my packer's knot. Lots of extra rope on these because these are really small. There we go. That's my manties.